Typically, you'd associate Ducati with its lustrous sporting heritage and finely crafted machines. In fact, you wouldn't really expect them to create something of a more leisurely nature. Ducati did take a swing at the cruiser genre with the Diavel, but what it ended up making was more of a brawling muscle bike that was closer to street naked.
Well, Ducati have been back at the drawing board again, and now we have this, the XDiavel. And what we have here is the S version, which is a slightly sportier version of the cruiser. But sporty and cruiser in the same sentence? Is this going to be the same story as the Diavel? Well, it certainly has the silhouette of a cruiser, but is it really on? I think we better have a closer look and figure out what makes the XDiavel tick.
The XDiavel S is simply stunning to look at. Its sinister styling and unique appearance definitely grab your attention, and almost every component on the new XDiavel is different from the Diavel. It is in fact a more stylized, cruiser kind of motorcycle. It appears slimmer and lighter than the chunkier Diavel, which gives it a sort of air of elegance. The headlamp unit is far sleeker, with the S model getting a menacing DRL that surrounds the top half. There's a new full-color TFT screen between the tank and the handlebar that appears to be a scaled-down version of the largest pedo console from the Panigale 1299 and Multistradas. The main screen spans just 3.5 inches, but is high-resolution display and fairly easy to read. The telltale lights get their own tiny display above the handlebar. The switchgear is red backlit, with the switches on the left forming an X when illuminated. The Diavel side-mounted radiators have been moved to the front, leaving the grey finished trellis frame on display. It gets a nice long 18-litre tank that tapers towards the rider's seat before widening towards the tail. The twin/brake light theme continues, but the tail end is now narrower, sleeker and more tapered than before.
Now if you look at the XDiavel, it's a big long machine, but once you get into the saddle, it feels a lot more compact than it actually looks. And it's got a very natural seating posture. In fact, it feels more natural than a lot of traditional cruisers. You're not really stretching for the handlebars. In fact, it's quite a neutral seating posture. And the foot pegs aren't very far apart either. Of course, now they're a little more forward set than the older Diavel. And the seat is nice and well padded, which overall makes the entire seating position on this bike a very comfortable one.
The XDiavel is the second motorcycle from Ducati stable to use their clever DVT variable valve timing system after the Multistrada 1200. It gets the Tester DVT 1262 L-twin motor. Ducati has stroked out the motor from 1198cc to 1262cc in the XDiavel. Power remains the same 152 horsepower as the Diavel, but torque has increased by 3 Nm to 126 Nm. The XDiavel is the first motorcycle from Ducati to get a belt drive. Normal Kevlar infused belt drives from the average big cruisers just aren't strong enough to handle the XDiavel's ferocity. So Ducati developed a special carbon fiber reinforced unit. Thanks to the sports bike-like firm suspension, the XDiavel certainly reaps benefits in the handling department. With 40 degrees of cornering clearance, the XDiavel can sustain considerable lean angles and serious corner speeds. Then there are the brakes. The XDiavel S gets the range-topping M50s, the very same brakes on the 1299S Panigale. The M50s offer stunning performance with it stopping from 80 km/h in just 3.1 seconds or 30.2 meters during our testing in semi-damp conditions. Both the XDiavel models get the added security of Bosch cornering ABS. With its ballistic power, excellent chassis and incredible brakes, the XDiavel won't have a very hard time keeping up with most sports bikes on all but the tightest of roads. The new XDiavel has the same amount of punch but now offers DPL, or Ducati Power Launch, a 3-stage launch control system that makes launching the bike a little less scary. This system allows the rider to keep the throttle wide open, smoothly release the clutch, and allow the electronics to handle the rest. Needless to say, the performance is thrilling, bordering on frightening even. Tested in semi-damp conditions, we managed to see a 3.4 second time to the 100 km/h mark, the front wheel trying to head skyward the whole while, only to be reined in by the 8-level adjustable traction control. The XDiavel gets 3 riding modes: Urban, Touring and Sport. In Urban mode, power is restricted to 100 horsepower and the bike feels quite mild-mannered. Touring mode offers a mild throttle response but gives the rider access to the full 152 horsepower. Sport mode releases the full unfettered power of this bike and makes it highly responsive to rider inputs, while electronic nannies are brought to a less intrusive level.
For the price of 19,48,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, you're getting a technologically advanced cruiser that's still a lot cheaper than a lot of other cruisers. So if you're looking for a high-end cruiser that's capable of a bit more than just cruising, you should definitely take the XDiavel for a spin and see what it has to offer.